Everybody, welcome to the presentation on birding in Bhutan for partnership for international birding. On the video conference today is Sharab, Doji, and Norbu, who are the top birding guides in Bhutan and are on the call from the capital town of Bhutan, Thimphu, where it is 6 a.m. in the morning. Once we get started here shortly, we will get on straight to the main parts of the tour that we will be doing, covering on the tour in Bhutan. Just to a little bit of introduction on the guides. Sharab is an excellent bird guide with experience of guiding birding tours through Bhutan for over a decade. Sharab has represented Bhutan at the Olympics in archery, besides competing in several competitions around the world. His eyesight is keen, contributing to both his archery abilities and his ability to find birds. Sharab is an outstanding tour guide with a knowledge of his country and its bird life. His local expertise is really second to none. Not to miss out on his pleasant nature, as you can see, he's always smiling, so is Norbu most of the time. And Sharab's sharp eyes don't miss anything. His knowledge of bird vocalization contribute to the success of every bird finding on every tour and finding Bhutan's specialty species. Sharab also has got a great knowledge into Bhutanese and Buddhist culture, which he loves to share on the travel between sites and is a great traveling companion. With him is Norbu, who also at times does lead some of our tours around Bhutan. And Norbu has been leading tours for over 20 years. He has spent a lot of his time traveling through the country, surveying and discovering all the best places to find the most sort of rarities, including all the typical wren babblers, pheasants, strogons, and all the important species of Bhutan. He has contributed to the knowledge of the status and distribution of many species that were previously poorly known. Norbu has done extensive recording in Bhutan on the bird calls and has a very large library of local bird calls and songs, which he has generously donated to both the Cornell University Library and to the public site Zenocanto. Over the years, Norbu has been leading a lot of birding groups and has long years of experience. And he too has very in-depth knowledge of local culture, which they all like to add on to the tours when birding the country. Well, they will cover today all the major sites that we visit on the tour in Bhutan, birding through 9 districts of the 21 districts in the country, covering various habitats from an altitude of 155 meters to 7,550 meters. And through the talk, they will show us some of the best birds that Bhutan has to offer with an insight to its culture and spectacular scenery. Well, we will stop in between to take questions. So do feel free to unmute yourselves or text in your messages, your questions to Jesse, and he'll forward them to me, and I'll put them on to Norbu and Sharab. We try to keep everything pretty casual, and so feel free to message in. So I will not take any more time, and I'll leave it on to Norbu and Sharab to go on with the presentation. You can start, Norbu. Sharab.
Hello, good morning once again. I'll first do a brief introduction about our country, Bhutan. You know, Bhutan is a small country located in the Himalayas between the two big giants in the north, China, and in the south, India. and then the country is, the population of the country is about a little more than 700,000. And then basically the people are all almost 90%, almost 99% Buddhist. Uh, and then the landscape. I mean, it's actually that what's the name? It's about the size of a country. The land of a country is about 38,000 square, a little more than 30,000 square uh, meter. I think meter, yeah.
Square kilometer.
Square kilometer, sorry.
Yeah, square kilometer. Then
yeah.
the brief introduction, then our presentation, the structure of our presentation actually start with a brief introduction, which Sharaf has already did. Then services, the what services we are going to provide here in Bhutan as a representative of International Birding Tour. Then we will go to our tour route. We'll talk the details of the route that we are taking on the tour, and then the question and answer. So now first we go to the location. Location, Sharaf has already mentioned that Bhutan is sandwiched between two giant countries. China, towards the northern border, we share with the People Republic of China. Then southern part of the country, we border with the India, the People Republic of India. Then getting to Bhutan, the getting to Bhutan here by air. The main entry point to Bhutan by air is through the town of Paro, which is a home for only international airport in the country. We are entering from Gilipur, the center south of Bhutan. So these are the 20 different districts. 20 different districts in Bhutan. Bhutan is divided into 20 different districts. So here, some of the region, we can see some of the region highlight with the orange color. So those are the districts we are going to cover on our trip. So among the 20 different districts, we'll be covering 9 different districts, starting from a south, Sarbang, which is a region, but then within Sarbang, there's a small town called Gelifu. So we'll be entering through Gelifu from Assam, go to Shemgang. So in total, we'll be covering 9 different districts.
From Sabang, we are going to entry. We are, as soon as we connect India, like from the Guwahati airport.
Stay there for a night, then from Punaka to Paro for 2 nights in Paro. That is a route map. So next, now we go to some Bhutan at glance. So this one, I think we have pretty much everything on the screen. So I hope you can see some details on the screen. Talks about the population area of Bhutan, which over 38,000 square meter. Altitude start from 155 meters in the south, and it goes all the way to 7,550 meters in the north. That is like if you go in the straight line from south to north, in the straight line is about 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers. Within the range of 100 kilometers, we have a elevation starting from 155 meters to 7,550 meters. The 7,550 meters is the highest mountain. That is, we share a border with China towards the north of Bhutan. And that mountain is highest unclimbed mountain in the world. Then capital Thimphu, then birding in Bhutan. Earlier, I think earlier we have a very few people who come to Bhutan for birding tour. Most of the trip here in Bhutan are mostly on culture and trekking. But then from past 7 to 8 years, the bird watching in Bhutan has picked up a lot. And also now, if you look at the local number, even the local people are getting mostly into birding. And we also have a good community of local birders in Thimphu. So now next we start with the day one itinerary.
So day one itinerary, we start day one, meet at the Guwahati, okay, airport. Sorry, once again coming back to that. The capital and the largest city in the Indian state of Assam, located on the southern shore of Brahmaputra River. Then we'll proceed to Bhutan, driving through the busy road, packed with the cars, streets, hawkers, and all this busy roads, journey via national highway, and then passing through the vast plain of Assam, which mostly consists of the famous Assam tea garden. Due to the heavy traffic, uh, we might not permit to make many stop along our drive. However, we look out for any important species such as, because sometimes we come across while we are driving along the road, we come across some birds, especially the adjutants, the greater and the lesser adjutants. And beside that, we'll come see some other different species also, like kingfishers, white-throated, commonly the white-throated kingfisher, and beside that, some egret, herons, pond herons, and all, and any others, like almost little or more, almost more chances in Bhutan. We get some chances in Bhutan as well.
Yeah, especially on our drive from Guwahati to Gelifu, uh, we'll be looking for greater adjutant, lesser adjutant, then Asian open bills, Indian pound herons, white-throated kingfisher, and some of these species, especially the adjutant and Asian open bill, we do not have any further chance on our trip. So we'll be looking for that bird. Then later in the evening, we'll, depending on what time we get to the Gelipu Bhutan town, we'll also explore around the Bhutan, looking for uh, spotted owlets that occur around the Gelifu town. Then that is a day one, like the adjutant, greater adjutant, the first picture on the top, then the lesser adjutant, the second picture on the top, Asian open bill, the following pictures, Indian pound herons, then white-throated kingfisher. These are some of the expected species on our drive from Guwahati to Gelifu. Then we move on to day two. So day two, in the morning, pre-breakfast, we'll explore the Gelifu because that is the lowest point on our trip. And some of the species, the lowland species, we do not have any further chances, like Indian rollers, like yellow wattle lapwings, the first picture on the top, then Indian roller, the second picture. Then we come back. There's also a good chance for Indian peafowls, dollar bird. Then come back for the breakfast. Then after breakfast, we'll continue our journey to Tingtibi, which takes about 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours. Then along the way, again, we have a very good chances for some rare bird like rufous neck hornbill. Rufous neck hornbill is the second picture on the bottom row. Then silver ear messias, long-tailed broadbill. That is also a very good chance for us to see the golden langur, leaf monkey, which is near endemic to Bhutan, occur in Bhutan and little part of Assam. Then we move on to day three. We move on to day three. That will be Tingtibi, Dakpal, and Gompu route. So in the morning, we start from the camp and head towards the Gompu road. Gongfu Road is a road that goes to the Manas National Park, which is one of the oldest national park in the country, and some of the expected species on that route. The habitat actually consists of warm broadleaf forests, and also on that road we have an endless bamboo forest. So some of the species we will be looking on that road includes rufous snake hornbill, white-hooded babbler, rufous snake hornbill, great hornbill, the first picture on the top, then white-hooded babbler, second pictures on the top, and pale-bill parrotbill, and we might also be lucky to see spot-bellied eagle owl. Then Gongfu Road, on that road also give us access to look over the Mangdichu River, which and we'll take a time to scan the river, searching for white-bellied heron, which is a very critical endangered species with a population of 60 individuals worldwide. So some people say that any species which has a population of less than 100 are bound for extinction. Then there's also a good chance for red-headed trogon. That is our morning session on day 3. Then afternoon we come back for the lunch to the camp and have a rest for a couple of hours. Then start our afternoon session, birding session at a different route. That one we drive a little bit further up towards Shemgang and do the Shemgang Dakfel road. So some of the species we'll be looking on that route includes, actually we'll get few laughing thrushes, but then the most interesting one we'll be looking on that route is a rufous chin laughing thrush, then Sultan Tate, then spotted forktails, striped babbler, coral bill, scimitar babbler, and blue-bearded bee eaters. So the day 4, we start from Tingtibi to Tongsa. After early breakfast at the camp, we will set up our journey to Tongsa, which is about 110 kilometers, and it should take us anywhere from 4 to 5 hours. Then our journey will take us through the varieties of habitat consists of scrub, subtropical forests, warm broadleaf forests, and also a small, couple of few small settlements and the farmlands. Species.
So some of the species that we are going to come across along this road on the way to Trongsa from Tingtibi will be like black eagles, and then a green magpie, collared owlet or Asian owlet also, and then beside that blue-throated barbet and then white-browed pickerlet, crested bunting, and beside that we'll come across like little forktails, and then in some area we'll come across this yellow ram honeyguide also, and then the
yes, we have a picture of a blue-throated barbet here. But on this day, we are expected to see 3 different species of barbet: golden-throated, and the great barbet, and the crested bunting, which actually prefer kind of a small farmland. Then here we also have a white-browed pickerlet, but on this day, we also expected to see few different species of woodpecker, like greater yellow nab, lesser yellow nab. So we'll move on to day 4, day 5.
Day 5.
Well, if Norbu, can I just stop you for a while? If anybody's
Sure.
got any questions, regarding Galafu, Tingtibi, and Trongsa, you can unmute and ask your questions, or you could text them on to Jesse, and he'll forward them to me to be put up to Norbu. So if anybody has any questions, if not, we'll proceed further. Uh, you're most welcome to text in your questions to Jesse at any time during the presentation.
Yes, there have been a couple questions so far. One was from Jan, is do the windows in the bus open?
Yeah, they do open. They
Okay.
do open. Yeah, I've replied to that one because I
Okay.
said I'll just reply to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
and
other one as well, I've replied to the regarding the permits and the cost issues of the entering into Bhutan. Why it is
and
so expensive? Yeah.
one more that was sent to me is when is the best time of year to visit?
Norbu,
Uh,
when is the best time of year to visit?
yes, actually, we have different seasons have a different species to offer. Birding can be done throughout the year, but then the best time for for the birding as well as for the culture start from March till the end of May. June is also not very bad, but then the June is a pre-monsoon season here, and by that time the wet season begins, and we can expect in terms of weather it may not be very promising. But by March to April is we still consider the March to May is one of the best season in Bhutan. Then if you're coming here for the trekking, I think October, November, December is another good season to come to Bhutan in terms of weather. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that
I
did it.
believe so, yeah.
Anything else, Jesse?
Nope, I think we are
Yeah,
good.
and we do have restroom stops along the drive when there are long drives.
Yes, but again, restroom stops and some tea stops along the way. Sometimes the drive are quite long, especially on the day 4. Day 4 from Tingtibi to Shemgang is about 5 hours drive. But then in between, we'll make several stops for the birding, pit stops. So any stops are welcome.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll continue with the presentation. Norbu,
Day 6.
day 5.
So I think we are on the day 5,
Oh,
Tongsa,
yeah.
Yotungla, and Bumtang. So in Tongsa, after a long drive from the previous day, we'll have kind of a easy start, pre-breakfast, birding around Tongsa. And after breakfast, we'll also have an opportunity to visit the impressive Tongsa Zong. The Tongsa Zong is the ancestral home for the royal family of Bhutan. Uh, the first king, before he became the king of Bhutan, he used to be a governor of Tongsa. So now we have a culture that any king, before becoming the king of Bhutan, they have to receive a title as a governor of Tongsa. It is not really necessary the king they have to go and live in Tongsa, but as a formalities they have to receive that title. Then after that we come back to the after the Zong, we'll continue our journey to Bumtang. The road goes over Yotongla Pass, which is about 3,450 meters, which is I think over 11,000 feet. Then on this day, we have a very short drive, which is about 3 hours drive to Bumtang. So we'll have a lot of opportunity to stop along the way for birding. And some of the species we are expecting on our route, on our along the ways, include red-headed bullfinch, the second picture on the top, and again the another parrotbill, great parrotbill, which is one of the biggest parrotbill species, and the green-tailed sunbirds, then red-tailed minla. Then before we proceed to our hotel in Bhutan, we have a valley called Shumi Valley. So from Shumi Valley, it's possible to take a side road drive to extra drive. It's a side road drive to the temple up in the mountain. And that temple offers a very good opportunity to view Himalayan monarch, which is another very beautiful and special bird of Himalaya. People believe it's a bird with the 7 different colors. That bird has a rainbow color, and that temple is one of the best site to view a Himalayan monarch. And also, if you are interested to get a photography of Himalayan monarch, that is a very right place, because in the evening and then in the morning, the Himalayan monarch come very close to the monk's quarter to feed on the leftover food. So now we move on to day 6. Day 6, Puntang, Prumsingla, Senkor, and Yonkala. That is our route on day 6. So on this day, we expect to start quite early from the hotel to catch up with the trocopine, another bird, another special bird of the Himalaya. And some people think that bird is one of the reasons that draw many birders into Himalayas. And also another special bird is a blood pheasant. And that day is very important. We have many good species to look for. So it is very important to start quite early to get to the blood pheasant and the trocopine habitat quite early, because morning is the best time. This pheasant come on the side of the road for the feeding. Then after they are done with the feeding, they disappear into the forest, which make us very difficult to see them. So the chances is very good for blood pheasant and trocopine, which we see just before getting to the pass. Then we'll our journey will take us through over the Tumsingla Pass. Is going to be the second highest pass, second highest point on your trip. The elevation is about 3,780 meters, which is over 12,000 feet. So we'll take some time to bird around the Tumsingla. The habitat consists of subalpine conifer zone, and some of the species, the special species we'll be looking at the pass include the third picture on the top, fire-tailed sunbird in a full breeding plumage. Then the last picture, fire-tailed myzonis, another very beautiful bird. Then we'll continue crossing a small, we'll continue our journey. From the pass, we will continue our journey through the small settlement of Senkor. Then after crossing the Senkor, we'll be entering into one of the Bhutan wet subtropical forests. And people believe that stretch of the road is one of the finest birding area in the Himalayas. So some of the species will be we are expecting to see many different species there, but some of the interesting species we'll be looking on that stretch includes cylinder bill scimitar babbler and the black-headed shrike babbler. Then we move on to day 7 to 9. 7 to 9, we spend in fact 4 nights in Yonkala, Lingmitang, Namling, and Lingmitang Road. For these 3 days, we will explore the entire stretch of Namling, Lingmitang Road, and also to the base of Tumsingla Pass. And this stretch of 77-kilometer road, all within the Tumsingla National Park, is described by most of the birders as one of the finest birding sites in Asia. And this route, the road here, gives us access to the altitude starting from 100 meters all the way up to 3,800 meters with the different variations in habitats. So here we'll be looking for many interesting species. So some of the target top bird we'll be looking here includes beautiful nuthatch, an extremely rare bird, then Warstragon, Himalayan cutia, then yellow rump honeyguide, which is quite common in this area. Yellow rump honeyguide, I think, is one of the 2 species of honeyguide that occur in Asia. Scarlet finch, and we are expected to see 2 different species of parrotbill, black-throated parrotbill and the white-breasted parrotbill. Then on the same day, that will be day 7, 8, 9, we have 3 different slides for 3 days. Then we are also expecting to see quite a few different species of laughing thrush, including red-faced Leocicla. Then in this area, again, apart from this colorful bird, we also have quite a few difficult species, such as rain babblers, and we hope to see 4 different species of rain babblers: rufous-throated rain babbler, pygmy rain babbler, Sikkim wedge-bill babblers, and also scaly and the long-bill rain babbler. Then another difficult bird, 2 different species of Theseus are expected on this day, gray ballad and slaty ballad Thesia. So during our 3 nights in Yongkala, Lingmitang, Namling Lingmitang Road, it is also possible to do some night birdings. And we may be lucky to see Hodgson's prop-mouth, brown wood owl, and very interesting mammals that comes at night, Hodgson's flying squirrels. Same dinner. Continue.
So again, we are going to continue because we are having almost 4 nights in Yongkala. So we'll be doing birding along that stretch. We are going to spend 3 days in that area. So these are again some of the species that we are going to come across in that area. If we from that Yongkala, if we go down towards the Lingmitang, which is a bit low elevation, and in that area we come across we'll be able to see tawny fish owl, which is one of the rare sighting, and then we'll come across the Asian bar owlet, and another one is the third picture is golden bush.
Golden-breasted fulvata.
Golden-breasted fulvata. And then the next one is rusty-fronted barwing. And then
and here we have mentioned, we have a picture of 2 flycatcher, ultramarine flycatcher, and then the rufous-balled niltava. Actually, by our time, the flycatchers are summer visitors here in Bhutan, and by our time, most of the flycatchers will be. We have just shown the 2 pictures, but then we are expecting to see more flycatchers, more species of flycatchers.
Well, Notbu Sharab, in case if you can just stop for a while, in case anybody's got any questions, anybody wants to ask any questions, regarding Trongsa, Yongkala, Bumtang, Trongsingla, Sangor, Yongkala, and the couple of nights spent around Yongkala at Namling and Limitang Road. You can unmute or you can text your messages in. Anybody, any questions?
I did get one over text that was asking for a little bit more information on what the accommodations are like at these different locations.
Notebook, Sharab, if you could just give a quick description of the different accommodations that we use throughout the tour, besides the tented accommodation at Ting TV.
The accommodation hotels. So most of the, in fact, all the accommodations we'll be using on the trips are 3 stars. It's by law here in Bhutan that all the international dollar-paying tourists, we have to put them in 3 stars hotel. But then in Ting TV we'll be camping. But in Yongkala area, that hotel is not exactly 3-star hotel, but it's a very comfortable and clean hotel, Drogon Villa. And that is the only hotel in that Yongkala area.
Yeah, I think that answers it, Jesse.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good to me.
Hi, is the Himalayan Monarch a common bird?
Himalayan Monarch is not a very super rare bird, but it's quite common. But then this monarch, this pheasant is very shy. Most of the time we can see them in the distance, and as soon as they notice our movement or something, then they just fly away. They just disappear into the forest. So I think on day 5 from Tongsa to when we drive from Tongsa to Bumtang, we have kept an option to go to the temple. So if you go to that temple is one of the most reliable sites for Himalayan monarch. You can see them, you can watch them very close. And in fact, in the past,
Continue.
okay. So in the past, on our trip, when we go to that temple, some of our clients, they even took a picture of Himalayan monarch using their mobile phones. So that is the best chance for Himalayan monarch.
Wow.
They are beautiful.
But we are very confident that you are not going to miss the Himalayan monarch on this trip.
Thank you.
In fact, on any of our trip, we don't miss the Himalayan monarch.
Great.
Anybody else, any other questions before we continue on?
I did get one more over text. Is that will you have scopes for the people to use? Spotting scopes.
Yes.
Great.
We'll have a scope.
And how many endemic birds are in Bhutan?
Unfortunately, we do not have any endemic bird in Bhutan.
Okay.
Most of the species actually overlaps with the Arunachal Pradesh in India.
All right. Thank you.
But then I understand. I personally have not been to Arunachal Pradesh, but I understand that in terms of seeing the species, it's much easier in Bhutan. That is what I understand from some of my clients.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll continue with the presentation. Norbu and Sharab.
After the final morning birding in this wonderful habitat, you will retrace our way back to Trongsa, passing through the Sangor Valley. And on this day, we will be, because we are spending almost 3 or 4 nights in that Yongkala area. So basically, we'll be just looking almost all the species. But in case if we miss something on our time in that area, then on the way back to Trongsa, we'll be looking for the species that we miss on those days, and then we'll be continue to a strong start crossing the Phumsingla Pass again, and then we'll be driving towards Tongsa, crossing Ura Valley, and then yeah, we do stop on the way, looking for some other species that we missed while we are coming from Tongsa towards Yongkala. Okay, and then the next.
Yeah. So basically on this day, we'll be backtracking our way to Tongsa, but then we'll make sure to have some stop at the base of Tumsingla Pass in case if we have missed any species on our way in. So some of the species again we'll be targeting on the way back include golden bush robin, Mrs. Gould sunbird, and barwing wren babbler, chestnut tail minla, gold-necked finch. These are some of the species we'll be looking on that day in case if we miss on our way in. And also here I have a picture of the mountain here, or the last picture of the mountain, because on the clear day, on the drive from Tumsingla on the clear day, if the weather is clear, then we get a very good view of the highest unclimbed mountain in Bhutan. So moving on day 11, that is from Tongsa, Pelila to Porchika. So Tongsa, our journey on that day will take us through many small settlements, farmland, and by afternoon we'll get to the Pelila Pass, which is about 3,423 meters, over 11,000 feet. So after crossing Pelila Pass, we'll take a side road to Porchika Valley. And Porchika Valley is one of the biggest wetland in our country. And late in the afternoon, we will have a time to bird around Lawala Pass. Habitat here consists of dwarf bamboo and the rhododendron bush. And some of the species we are expecting on this include two species of scimitar babbler, striped-throated euhenas, rusty cheek scimitar babbler. We also expect to see the great barbet, Bhutan laughing thrush, only bird named after our country, streak-breasted scimitar babbler. Then also at the Pelila Pass, we have a good chance for seeing Himalayan griffons, Himalayan vulture. So next, day 12. So earlier on our previous day, by the time we get to Pelila Pass, it will be around like a midday, and it may not be a very good time to do a birding. The activities start slowing down. But then the next day from our hotel, we again drive back to the pass. In fact, we have to take that road. We'll be backtracking. Anyhow, we have to take that road. So we start early from the hotel, get to Pelila Pass, and start doing a birding along the old abandoned road. The open meadow and the rhododendron forests on that old road actually again offer another chance for Himalayan monarch and Satya trocopine in case if we miss in the east in our previous past days. So some of the interesting species we are looking on that old road includes brown parrotbill, spotted laughing thrush. We have quite a few species of laughing thrush in Bhutan, but among the laughing thrush, most people consider this spotted laughing thrush as a very beautiful one, beautiful laughing thrush. And we also have a very good chance for seeing some bush warbler on that pass, including gray-sided bush warbler. Then after we finish birding on that old road, we'll continue our journey to Punaka Valley. So by the time we get to Punaka Valley, it will be a midday and we will not see much birding activities. So we have another chance to visit Punaka Zong. Punaka Zong used to be an old capital of Bhutan, and Punaka Zong is supposed to be one of the most beautiful zong in the country, built in between two rivers. Here in the picture, you can see the zong in between two rivers. The river that flows on the right side of the zong is the Pochu and Mochu. Mochu on the left. Po means male and Mo means female. The zong is built in between the male and female river. Then after we finish visiting Punaka Zong, then later, that will be later in the evening, before we proceed to our hotel, we'll keep we'll drive upstream along the Phochu River, which offer another good chance for seeing white-bellied heron. Then other species, another very interesting species we are looking on this afternoon along the river will be ibis bill, one of the special bird of Himalayas. And ibis bill is a very special bird because it forms its own family. There's no other member in ibis bill family. Uh, then other interesting species we may look here includes Pallas's fish eagle and crested kingfisher, common kingfisher, sandpipers. So we are expecting to see quite a good number of shorebirds. So then we are on the day 13. 13 in the morning, we do Jimmy Doji National Park. Jimmy Doji National Park is one of the biggest national park in the country. But then we'll be doing a small part of the Jimmy Doji National Park in the morning. And then we will continue our journey to Spotted Ilochura. Again, is a very special bird. Earlier, the spotted Ilochura is a member of the rain babbler families. Is it okay? Looks like we are.
No, you just
good.
cut off for a short while. It's okay, yeah.
Okay. Spotted Ilochura, that will be the main target bird on the day. Spotted Ilochura is a special bird because earlier they thought it was a rain babbler. It comes under rain babbler family, but later, I think about a couple of years back, the new study shows that Spotted Ilochura is neither a rain or not a rain babbler, and it again, like an ibis bill, the Spotted Ilochura form its own family. We expect to see here white cap, chestnut crown warbler. Chestnut crown warbler. I have shown the picture of chestnut crown warbler, but in fact, we on this morning inside the Jimmy Doji National Park, we expect to see more than five or six different species of warblers, including like blighs, gray-hooded. Then also we have a good chance for seeing crested kingfisher. Then after our morning birding in Jigme Doji National Park, we'll continue our journey to Paro. So our journey to Paro goes over Dochula Pass, another pass which is about 3,150 meters, I think over 10,000 feet. And this pass is one of the most beautiful pass in the country. And this pass is decorated with 108 stupas. And on the clear day from this pass, you can have a view of the all the 10 Himalayan ranges. So we may stop, we'll have a short break at the pass and to walk around the stupas, take a picture, then continue our journey to Paro. Yeah, the chili again.
So on day 14, from Paro, we drive towards the cool alpine meadows of Chenille Pass, which is about 3,000, almost 4,000 meter. So like in feet, it's about 12,700 feet. This is the highest pass on our trip. I think this is the highest pass that we are going to come across on our trip. And then also the highest pass on the car road, highest point on our trip. Here we should be rewarded with the three different species of pheasant. Because if we miss in the east, so we'll be having another chance for the pheasants, which is like college pheasant, the first picture, and also the blood pheasant, second one. And then also we have a chance to see again the Himalayan Monarch. And beside this three pheasant, we still have a good chance for trocopine also in this area. And then beside the pheasant, we have some other bird species like finches, uh, grosbeak, and also crossbill. And beside that, we'll get to see uh, snow pigeons
Snow pigeon
snow pigeon on this pass. Yeah.
and white-browed rosefinch, which is quite common at the pass. Then earlier on the trip, I'm sure we'll see the blood pheasant in the east, but then the blood pheasants we see in the east and the Chenille Pass is two different subspecies. The one we see in the east is Tibetanus, and one we see at Chenille Pass is Cosiris. So it's a two different subspecies, and we are hoping to see both the subspecies. Then Kalish pheasant, snow pigeon, and we also have a good chance for seeing few different species of tits, coal tit, rufous vented tit, gray crested tit, and also few different species of woodpeckers, rufous bellied woodpecker, and then Darjeeling woodpecker, and few species of redstart and tree creepers. And Chenille Pass, this pass is going to be the highest point on your trip. It's over 12,000 feet and the highest point on the car road in Bhutan. And from this pass also early in the morning, we can view the second highest mountain of Bhutan. And we come back for the lunch in Paro. And after lunch, uh, you'll have a free time to walk around, stroll around the downtown Paro for your last minute shoppings. And another option is to do the birding along the river, which again offer another chance for seeing brown dipper, ibis bill, which is fairly common in Paro, ibis bill, which is fairly common in Paro, few species of redstart, such as white-capped redstart, plum-based redstart, Ocean's redstart, and another species like river lapwing. Those are quite fairly common at Paro River. So day 14 is our departure. So after breakfast, we'll escort you to the airport for your ongoing trip. So
Well,
flight
if
from
anybody, yeah, if anybody has any questions regarding your travel through Yonkola, Trongsa, Pelela, Porchika, and then Jigme Dorji, and onto Paro and Chelela Pass, you can either unmute and put up your questions right away. Anybody with any questions?
I do have a few more over
Yeah.
text. One was how much of the birding is roadside versus in the woods?
Norbu?
most of the birdings are actually roadside birding. We don't go inside the wood. So I think I would say almost all the birdings are done on the roadside birding.
Okay. And then another one is there any chance to see the black-necked crane?
Unfortunately, by our time, the blackneck will be already gone. They are winter visitor here. They start arriving here by the end of October or first week of November. Then by March, by the beginning of the March, they start going back to their summer habitat in Tibet and Sichuan in China.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I think, well, if we do not have any more questions,
I don't have a
anybody?
question, but I really enjoyed the presentation. It was very good.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very much.
much.
Thank you very much. So we are sorry for the inconvenient cause at the beginning of our presentation. There's some technical issue and
Well,
I have a question. Can you
yeah,
yes,
hear me? Hi. I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm wondering if after the birding expedition, if it's possible to stay in Bhutan longer and rest for a couple days and then have an additional tour of the monasteries and the Buddhist, all the things that Bhutan is
yeah,
known for in the Buddhist world.
I mean, when you get in, if you get in touch with Charles and you ask him to give you information, what are the other things that we can do, then we can always put together the other extra sites that you could visit accordingly and spend more time. And depending whether you want to travel in different areas or just stick around Paro and visit the monasteries in Paro, or you want to go up further back and do a little bit more. So that is
Uh-huh.
possible on the end of the tour as well.
And on the high point that we were at, it sounded like oxygen might be needed. What do you think?
I think it should not be an issue because the reason why we start the trip from the lowland, from the border, is first we start from the lower elevation, and then we start moving a little bit to the higher elevation. The highest point on the trip is almost at end
Uh-huh.
of your trip, and by that time, I think most of you should be already acclimatized. So it should not be any
Okay.
issue. And moreover, I think on that pass, we are not spending an entire day at that pass. We'll be spending only a couple of hours in the morning. So I'm sure it should not be an issue.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was a very nice presentation. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you very
Anybody,
much.
any more questions before we wind up?
Thank you. Very interesting. Beautiful
Yeah.
bird. Good
Yeah,
description.
thank you. Well, if anybody has any questions, you could always email us and put them forward through at pibird on the email address. And if anybody's got any privacy issues, and if you have put your names or anything and you like them not to be put up on the presentation, because we do download the presentation on YouTube and on our Facebook
Oh, good.
page. Yeah, so you could always come and send in a mail to us and we will stick to the privacy issues as well. Uh, yeah, I think that's with the presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it. We do send out follow-up emails and we do send up checklists and trip reports and things. And if you need any further information on this tour, you could always email Charles at pibird.com and he will get back to you with all the information required. We have an additional date put up for 2021, which we were having in April, but now we moved it on to May 14th to May 28th because it looks like there's a hope of the vaccine coming out before then. And we have a few people that are lined up for the tour. So we've got a few seats available. So if anybody's interested, you can always get in touch with us. Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks again, Sharab and Norbu. And we
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you all again at some point on any of our tours.